Well, thank you for watching our podcast again. The Senate is back in session, the Congress is back in session, and we're trying this week to complete action on a job training bill a jobs bill for veterans. This is a concern, I'm sure, both among Democrats and Republicans here in the Congress. We have a great many returning veterans from the Iraq conflict, from the Afghanistan conflict, and we have to find better ways to get those folks transitioned into the workforce, provide opportunities for job searching, job placement, be sure that there are opportunities in law enforcement agencies, in firefighting agencies, and other governmental activities related to our public lands where those veterans can look for employment. So that's the purpose of the legislation. I believe we're going to get this passed this week, and that will be progress. I hope then that the House will take the legislation up and pass it as well and send it to the President. The other major concern in this short period of legislative activity before Congress adjourns prior to the election, of course, is passing a funding bill for the overall government to get us through the first few months of next year. As is probably obvious to folks who watch the activities in the Congress, we have not been able to get agreement on regular appropriations bills in this Congress, and we are now hoping to pass what we call a continuing resolution, which basically says we will take the level of funding that is in place for federal agencies in the current year, and we will extend that for another 6 months. That's not an ideal solution by any means, but it is certainly better than having great controversy about whether or not to keep the government functioning, as we've unfortunately had controversy in the past. So this legislation will probably be passed in the House this week, will be passed in the Senate, I hope, next week, and that will be a major step forward. Of course, when Congress gets back after the election, we expect a fairly extensive so-called lame duck session that will begin, we believe, on the 13th of November. And at that time, we will have to be trying to deal with this whole problem of what to do at the end of the year with the threatened sequester or cutting back of funds, both non-defense and defense funding, and also what's going to be done with regard to the expiring tax provisions that all occur on the 1st of January. So there's a lot to do in a special session or a lame duck session of the Congress. I think the consensus here in Congress is that most of the difficult decision making will probably have to wait till that lame duck session. But I hope we can at least pass legislation here before we leave prior to the election to ensure the funding of the government for the next 6 months. Again, thanks for watching. Appreciate your interest in what we're trying to accomplish here in the Senate, and we'll try to do another of these next week.